So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I have just gotten out of work. I work in retail. I have said it so many times at this stage, I'm sick of hearing myself say that. I have a job, I've been in my current job for coming up on 3 years now. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy enough in my job. Obviously there's a lot of shit in the world that I would like to do as a ideal career. But in my job, I like the people I work with, I'm happy in the shop. You know, the hours suit me, it's just grand. But I fucking hate the act of working retail. And like, you know, I've had a few people say to me on Twitter, oh bitch, I hate it too. So I thought that I would make a video as to why working retail is one of the worst things you could possibly do in your life. My elbow just cracked. 1, off the top of my head, Christmas. Sounds like a funny answer. If you work retail, you know that Christmas is the busiest fucking time of the year for shoppers. But you know, that's because people want to shop at Christmas time, so obviously you're going to have to go to work more. But what fucking sucks is when you get people that are like, oh, it's Christmas Eve and you're working. Isn't that terrible? It is your fault that I'm here working, bitch. You, the customer, actively buying, purchasing clothes. You are the reason I had to work today. But you gotta be in a Christmas spirit and you gotta be nice about it. So you gotta be like, haha, yeah. 2, clothes that continuously fall off of clothes hangers. You know that there are just certain materials that will not sit on a fucking clothes hanger, and every time somebody walks past a particular item, it's going to fall to the floor. It's going to fall off the hanger, lie on the floor and taunt you. It happens to me all the time. I have had borderline fucking breakdowns over, there's this one particular top where I work that just falls. If you even look at the top, if you contemplate picking the top up, it falls off the hanger and lands on the ground and is like, pick me up, bitch. Again, for the 15th time today. And while I am talking about things falling down, another thing that is really sucky about working retail are customers that come into a shop, knock shit over and leave. Do people really do that? Yes. Yes, they fucking do. For example, people sometimes let their kids run loose around the shop. That's going to be on my list in a minute. But their kids will just touch and pull at like clothes until they fall on the ground, and because they're kids, they don't pick them up. More often than not, their parents don't pick them up. So the person working, for example, me, will have to come along and pick up a trail of fucking clothes along the floor after this kid. Or what is even worse than that is when grown-ups do it. I have seen the most respectable people come into my shop, knock stuff, look at it on the floor and walk away. They don't even bother attempting to pick it up. What boils my blood even more are the kinds of people who will knock something, go to walk away, but they'll see that I'm looking at them and then they'll pick it up. And I'm like, don't pick it up now, Cindy. I saw you were going to walk away and you only picked it up because I fucking saw you. You picked it up out of shame. That doesn't count. Kids, like, don't get me wrong. I love kids. They're cute. Babies smell lovely. Kids are just weird little balls of energy. But when you work in a shop, you see kids coming and you think, sweet Jesus, please no. Parents seem to just forget they have offspring with them when they enter shops and they just let them roam free throughout the fucking shop. I have had to follow children around the shop to make sure they don't go in behind the counter, to make sure they don't fucking fall, to make sure they don't accidentally try and rob something. Again, that's coming up on the list in a while. Exchanges or refunds. Most shops have their own policies when it comes to exchanges and refunds. It could be, if you hold on to the receipt, you have 2 weeks for an exchange, or whatever. My shop, when it comes to things like bodysuits, which if you guys don't know what a bodysuit is, it is basically a swimsuit, but you wear it with jeans or a skirt. It's just a top that is fastened. It's a swimsuit basically, but you can wear it in everyday life. Because of where they fasten, say, we don't exchange them. So if you buy a fucking bodysuit, you are told, hey, there's no exchange in bodysuits for hygiene reasons. Are you okay with that? Are you happy with the size? And the customer will go, yep, I'm totally happy with this. Thank you. Here's my money. I will take my bodysuit and be on my merry way. But more often than not, you get that one bitch that comes back into the shop and they put the bodysuit up on the fucking counter and they're like, hi, I'd like to exchange this. It doesn't fit. And I have the moment of, I remember you from yesterday. I told you there's no exchange. But you gotta put on your polite voice. You gotta put on your customer service voice and be like, oh, well, I'm sorry, but there's no exchange in bodysuits and that would have been explained to you when you purchased the item. And then you get one of 2 answers. 1, I was never told. This answer boils my blood. I've had people try to lie to my bosses and tell them that I never said that there was no exchange. My bosses know. I'm a bitch in the know. I know what's going on. I tell everyone that buys a bodysuit, hey, no exchange. So thankfully my bosses don't blame me for shit like that because they know I would have made the customer aware. Answer number 2, which equally boils my blood, is, oh, well, I didn't know that no exchange meant I couldn't change it for a different size. No exchange includes exchanging the fucking bodysuit for a different size. You're still changing it. Like, you can't. You'll have customers that will stand and argue with you for a very, very long period of time, telling you that they're not leaving the shop until they get what they want. That's always fun. Yelling at you, calling you an idiot, also fun. Exchanges and refunds, they're just the funnest thing to deal with when you work in customer service. And then there's problems that probably aren't universal to everyone, but they might be, because I am a tattooed individual, in case you haven't noticed. These are tattoos. I have had people come up to me and tell me, do you know they're permanent? And I'm like, really? Seriously, I've had customers say that to me. I've had customers ask me to explain the meaning behind my tattoos as I'm handing them their change, and I'm like, no, next. Just all in all, working in retail or customer service. Shoplifters. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can imagine how much it sucks, either catching someone in the act or when, like, somebody that you know robs on just the regular. When they enter the shop, you're like, oh God, it's you. Changing rooms. They apparently seem to be a fun and magical place because, from my experience working in a shop, people just fucking congregate at the changing rooms. You've groups of teenage girls come into the shop and they take up all the changing rooms. They decide to try on everything in the shop and then they swap. So Sally might have a pink top and then her friend Jade in the changing room next to her is like, Sally, give me the pink top. So they're swapping the clothes from changing room to changing room. You don't know what the fuck is going where. There is like 15 teenage girls yelling and giggling and being loud and throwing clothes at you to hang back up, and then they come out of the changing room and they just fling the clothes at you. They're like, here, deal with this. And I'm like, man, the changing rooms wrecks my head. Like, I don't, like, when I go into a shop to try something on, maybe it's because, like, I have manners, I will, like, go in by myself. I don't bring friends into the changing room. I don't understand why people do that. I will go into the changing room by myself, try on the thing, look at it and go, yes or no. Maybe if my mother is with me, I might come out of the changing room and go, hey mother, yes or no. I will go back into the changing room, take off the top, put the top back on the hanger, and come back out of the changing room and put it back where it lives. Put it back where it's supposed to be. The extreme discount people. People that come in to the store and are like, here, I'm buying this top for €20. Can I have a discount? Why? Like, you have the people that try to come into the shop as you are locking the fucking door. I am a key holder of my shop, which means I have the keys to my shop. Some days the responsibility falls on me to lock up. There has been times I have been actively closing the door and a bitch walks past me into the shop and I'm like, where are you going? Or when the shop is closed, so the doors will be closed, there might still be customers in the shop, so generally I let them shop. I'm like, well, you know, they were in before I closed the doors, so let them shop for a few minutes. And then they'll take advantage of that and they'll be like, oh, are you closed? And I'll be like, we're trying to close at the moment. And they're like, oh, I'm going to try on these 6 dresses. And I'm like, bitch, you what? That always just really tickles my anger fucking bone. But then, of course, with the bad comes the good. There are some really good perks of working retail. You get to meet new people all the fucking time, which when I started working my job, I used to be so painfully shy I couldn't even make eye contact with people. Like, my job has made me come out of my shell so much. And there's regular customers that I know by name. I see them come in the door and I'm like, oh my God, how was your holiday? Or how was your daughter's wedding? I like helping people too, and you do get to do that in retail to an extent. Like, I remember this girl came into my shop and it was like 10 minutes until closing time and she was like, I'm desperate, please help me. I have a date. So I helped her pick out an outfit, and just before she left the shop, she said, if it goes well, I'll let you know. And I was like, okay. Thinking she wouldn't. She came back into my shop like a few days later and told me that it went really well and she really liked him and they were going on a second date and that she felt confident going out in the outfit that I helped pick out for her. Or there was another girl who came in. She was a very young girl. She was going to her first ever disco. because discos are like a big deal in Ireland. Like teen discos are pretty big over here. And every week we get in a bunch of fucking teens looking to buy outfits. But I remember this one particular instance. There was a girl, she must have been 13 or 14, and she was very, very shy and she was very insecure. And her mother asked me, like, can you please just help us find something that she's happy in? And eventually I did. And she was so happy in the outfit that it made me feel good. So it's not all bad. As of now, that was my little rant. I needed to get it off my chest, and now that I've verbalised it, I feel better. Do you guys work retail? Can you guys relate to any of these, or am I just a fucking psycho that just has general issues? Anyway, you guys, I don't know if these were universal. I don't know if you guys can relate to these or not, but I hope if you work retail, bitch, I am sorry. I feel for you. But I hope that, you know, you might have gotten a laugh out of this, or you can relate. Or if you're a human that shops, I hope you learned something from this video. Honest to God, like, people that work in retail, if you have never worked retail, you can't imagine how stressful it is and annoying it is when you're in a shitty mood and you have to deal with people for a living. It sucks. It fucking sucks. So if you haven't worked retail, I hope this opened your eyes to some of the things that you might unknowingly do, and maybe, you know, be kind to people that work in customer service and retail, and just be aware. If you drop something, pick it up. If a shop is closing its doors, don't try and muscle your way into the shop. That retail worker is going to want to kick you in the face. They won't, but they'll want to. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all soon.